Yeah.
3 men were brought to safety following a cave rescue lasting more than 30 hours in appalling conditions during Storm Amy. The experienced cavers were stranded in the Dober Gill Passage. That is near Grassington in North Yorkshire. So this is England.
I knew that, yes.
They say the alarm was raised at 2200 hours on Thursday when they failed to return, and one of their wives called the police. More than 100 volunteers. They took part in the long and difficult rescue, which was hampered by worsening weather, flooding, rough terrain, and long hours underground. Now, by the time the men were found in the early hours of Friday, rising water levels meant the simplest way out was impassable, forcing the rescuers and the cavers to retrace their steps. And a rescue team leader described how if they had reached the men just an hour or two earlier, they could have been home in time for breakfast. Unfortunately, the weather had a different plan. The immediate danger is the water, and potentially in certain parts of the cave, drowning.
Yep.
Had the water level risen in those places, it would have been exceedingly dangerous. But eventually, the underground teams worked in relays to guide the exhausted cavers back, while service crews endured appalling weather to maintain communication and manage logistics.
Isn't that what happened to, was it like a youth soccer team or something? It wasn't here in the States. Do you remember this? It was like 15, 20 kids. I want to say probably teenagers. 1 or 2 adults, like a coach and or teacher or whatever. But I don't think they were originally from the country they were in. They're there as a soccer team for something. Anyway, they went into a cave system, and I don't know if a storm hit or if it's just the high tide or whatever, but they got trapped in there for a couple of days. Do you remember this?
I don't.
All right, they had to send a rescue team, and the same thing. Like the way they came into the cave, looking back, now it's completely submerged underwater. So even the way these divers had to go in and pull these kids out, it wasn't like you just led them all to safety. They had to take them out like 1 or 2 at a time. You had to teach them not to panic because it's going to be very claustrophobic and dark, and you got to use the scuba tank. I mean, it was insane, but the kids were there at least a couple of days. I can't remember how long it was, but I was like, man, that is terrifying.
So the cave that I used to go into all the time as a kid with my friends was called Cornwell Cave, which was weird because the prettiest girl in school was named Amy Cornwell.
No, really?
Yeah. But either way. But if you know anything about caves, you know they are the result of water runoff.
So I don't know anything about caves, to be honest with you, Miles.
There's always that's the reason the caves are there. It's because the water eroded everything.
All right, yeah. As you said that, I was like, I don't know jack about caves.
When you walk into a cave, there's typically a stream or a body of water when you get in there. Like there's a waterfall in the middle of Cornwall Cave, but that's how those caves are formed. And when it rains heavy, so maybe you've got 3 feet to get in and get out. You're still walking through a stream when you walk in.
Yeah.
But when the water rises, the water level from heavy rains, then those places where you got in and out, I mean, maybe you got this much space. Maybe you've got nothing. You know, it's just the water's just rushing through those areas, and it's still cutting those caves in. So there's really small little areas, like little tributaries, where the water's almost coming out like a hose, like a spigot. You know, although it's big, and those. So basically, what they went through, I can imagine that happening. I've never been in that situation.
Right.
But I get what happened. We got to a point in that cave at one point in time where we were in there for a long time, and we had propane lights that were all old coal lights.
Okay.
So it kind of looks like a makeup mirror, but it shoots a flame.
Yeah.
And that's how you're able to see. Now, there were a couple guys that had fancy battery-powered electric ones.
Fancy stuff.
But we didn't have those. But one guy did, thank God, because my fuel ran out. Sometimes you just got it turned up. Think of like a Peak 1 stove. You're just gassing the living hell out of it. I didn't realize how much gas I had going through there. So I lost my headlamp. So we had one guy, and then my other buddy's headlamp went out. And we knew we filled him up. It's just the way it was burning. So the one guy was able, thank God, to get us out of there. But where we got stuck in an area where we knew there was a shortcut down. So we go down this chimney, and my buddy Brett, my buddy Brett is behind me. I'm the first one down. You basically just hold on to the sides and you shimmy your way down. What I didn't realize was that the room below us, the roof was about 30 feet.
Oh.
So when I looked down, what I could see when Brett put the light down between us, you could see the fact that, we
it's a 3-story drop.
We are coming in the wrong way. So I'm like, it's clay, so it's very wet and it's damp. I'm like, dude, do not slip. Whatever you do, you're going to knock me down. We're both going to fall on each other. 30 feet.
Because I'm grabbing you if I slip.
And man, by the time that was another instance when we got back to the top, I'm like, we are not going that way. And literally, we go 10 more feet, and it opens up, and there's an easy way just to step right down.
Yep.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it's just nuts. What happened that wasn't supposed to happen that day? 206-803-ROCK. Steve, you've been skydiving. Here's one.
I have.
Doesn't end well. Another skydiving excursion has ended in tragedy after an instructor became separated from his student midair and crashed.
I want you to just think about the student. Look, tragedy befell.
Became separated.
Right. So you've never skydived before. And when I went skydiving, I did it the way this guy did it, which is the way
tandem jump.
95% of people do. It's a tandem jump. And I am hooked very uncomfortably snug into him, right? And it's already kind of an adrenaline rush. I can't imagine if I hear like a click and the guy that knows what he's doing is now hurtling toward the earth. Because again, this is your first time skydiving. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah. You're just pulling at stuff.
Well, they say it's unclear how the separation occurred. The website...
What does this do?
For Go Skydive Nashville, the company operating the jump, notes the instructor wears a main parachute and a reserve, while the student wears a specially designed tandem skydiving harness that securely attaches you to your instructor.
Very securely.
This seems like it's impossible to happen because the instructor has the chute.
Right.
He's got the emergency chute.
And they're on back.
Right. And he...
At least in my experience.
And the student is in the front of him.
Yeah.
So how in the hell did the student... Was he able to keep the parachute with the instructor slipping out?
I don't... Look, I read the story. I don't understand it. Because you basically sit on this guy's lap and they clip you in and then you jump out of the plane. And like you said, everything that is parachute related is on the instructor's back.
And he was a 35-year-old man who was believed to have fallen without the parachute. Now, he was found off of Ashland City Highway, northwest of downtown Nashville. The student was on his very first jump, was found with an open parachute hanging in a tree off the same highway.
Oh, yeah.
He was stranded up there for hours. He did suffer only minor injuries, according to the Nashville Fire Department. Now, the identities of those involved have not been released yet. 3 other skydivers on the same flight landed safely, but saw this happen. The FAA has launched an investigation into the episode, yet to offer public comment. The company stated it's cooperating with authorities, reaffirmed its commitment to safety and professionalism. They just don't know. The student, by the way, said it's his first jump, and it's his last.
Yeah, you think?
But
that seems pretty simple.
I hate to laugh at that, but like, brother, we
the student told him, the local news for the Times, it was my first jump, and it's my last jump.
Yeah.
I'd be like going to a shooting range and somehow catching a round.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think I'm good on shooting ranges.
Where is it? Is it Tiger Mountain that those guys do that paragliding and always get hung up in the trees once or twice a year?
I think it is.
Or Poo Poo Point?
It's one of those, yeah. The same thing every year, but at least they're in the trees, man. I can't imagine just watching the instructor, plummet to their death, and this is your first jump. You're already nervous jumping out of the plane.
I don't even want to shimmy on a branch, even if I'm 30, 40 feet up in a tree. I don't want to move. Like, I don't want to, say, can I make this? Can I grab a hold of the tree and shimmy my way down? Like, because
Even cats get stuck in trees. Even a cat says, man, I'm not trying to climb back down. I need help. And I get it. As a human being, there's no chance.
Bears don't do that, though.
No, bears they're kind of like, half the time you'll see a bear just falls out of the tree.
I was going to say, I feel like
they're
bears,
just kind of tough.
They fall out of trees at a decent clip.
Yeah, so they're not very dexterous on their way down. They can just take the pummel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I would skydive again, but after seeing that story, I understand if that person doesn't. The worst story I heard about that kind of thing.
The other thing I was going to say, too, is skydiving, like, I knew a guy, he's passed away, but he was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But he was a thick dude, so he weighed, and he's probably right at that limit of, what is it, 225, 230?
Is it that low?
I think so.
I don't remember.
And he was just like, he goes, it was just so painful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was like, they strap you in so tight.
It's super tight.
He was just like, he goes, for me, it wasn't worth it. He was like, he's like, I get it. He goes, I was just in so much pain the entire time. He's like, it's safe enough. He's just like, I wouldn't do it again just because of the straps.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. There was a guy, it was last year, 2 years ago, and he was a skydiving instructor, but he was the guy that would video everyone else.
All right.
Right? So they'd all jump out of the plane and he'd video. And I just don't know how this happens. But dude jumps out of the plane with like 6 or 7 of his buddies, and he's filming them. And unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your perspective, his camera survived the fall, but his last words were, oh my God. And the reason his words were, oh my God, is because he jumped out of the plane and had forgotten to put on his parachute.